Hey y'all, I don't have no theme music for you today because I'm in the car. I couldn't be doing all this fiddling and fidgeting because I got to keep my eye on the road. But I am extremely appreciative of my bestie Tanisha because for Christmas a few years ago, she gave me, I had gone through so many of these little things to hold your phone so you could chat while you drive, and none of them lasted real long. I had the one that had the suction that you put to your window or your what you got the front part, your windshield. I had the one where you could clip it to your vent. I done had all of them, and none of them worked. But my bestie, Tanisha, sent me this. I think she got all three of us these for Christmas one year. I may be the only one that still uses mine, but I love it. It attaches to the rearview mirror, and I was able to figure out just the right position to put it so that I could, get a big convenience for myself. I love it. Y'all see, this is one of my big hell don't care days. Um, y'all riding with me today. I worked the last night so that I could be out today because 90 Pooh's choir is the 90 Pooh is my daughter. Y'all met her Friday if you saw the video. Um, her choir at school is going to went to Birmingham today to sing at UAB, which is my alma mater where I finished school. So, big deal for me. So I don't know if they're having some type of choir competition or choir. It's called the UAB Honors Choir. And she was selected to be in it. So I had to drop her off this morning at 5 o'clock to catch the bus to go to Birmingham. Now, if you're not from here, that may not sound crazy, but we live in the Huntsville, Madison area. Birmingham is about an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on where you're going in Birmingham. I'm like, what in the devil? Y'all got to be there at 5 o'clock for? I'm like, are y'all singing at the first thing in the morning? So, anyway, I dropped off. I didn't go to bed until almost 2 because I was up trying to work so I could be off today. I was trying to get my work caught up so that when I was off today, I don't have to worry about coming back Tuesday to, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, all this stuff. So I was up pretty late working last night until about 2 in the morning. And then when I got ready to go to sleep, I had to set the clock for 4:30 to make sure I have her at school by 5. So when I got back home, I came home and crashed until 12, and now I'm heading up that way. Now, from what I saw on their itinerary, they don't actually like the part that we can go and watch. It don't start till 4:30. So I'm like, what y'all gonna be doing? But I guess they're gonna be practicing because it's like they're doing like a mass choir, I think, with UAB and some of the other schools. Or I guess I'll see when I get there. But yeah, they don't have to sing until 4:30. But I didn't want to be caught up in no traffic and stuff. So I decided I left about 20 minutes ago. So I'm on Central Time. It's about 1 o'clock my time. I mean, it's 1:30 my time. So I should get there no later than 3. But my whole reason for going early is Birmingham's like the biggest, the busiest city area in Alabama. And that traffic is rough because pretty much the way it is now, most of everybody, I mean, they're doing that gentrification thing where they're trying to make downtown Birmingham, making it all expensive and posh and some stuff you can't afford. Hey, Edward Smart, thanks for tuning in. I'm just chit chatting. You can join the conversation. Um, I'm headed to Birmingham because my daughter is singing with the honors UAB honors choir. So I decided to bring y'all on the ride with me. I got about an hour and some change to get there. But yeah, in the Birmingham area, pretty much, people had started kind of moving away from the city areas, you know, and out to like the more of the outskirts. You got areas like Shelby County and what else? Out towards Trustville, you know, a lot of places that are away from like the city. But then a few years ago, well, probably, it's been about 10, over the last 10 years, they have tried to do a lot of rebuilding and I call it regentrification because they, took down a lot of the old buildings and stuff and got like a lot of apartments and stuff that are right downtown because the biggest industry, if you want to call it that, in the Birmingham area, in my opinion, has always been healthcare because there are several hospitals there. UAB being the biggest is the hospital, and then you have UAB, the school, the university. So it employs UAB employs a great deal of people out of Birmingham. So everybody's doing that commute to downtown to get down there. And a lot of the doctors and stuff and students that come to go to school, they get those, they've got moved into those newer apartments and stuff that they built right downtown. But them things high as I don't know what. They're not very, from look, I haven't been on the inside. But just from looking at them, they don't look very spacious. And I know they cost an arm and a leg because they're right downtown and you can walk to everything. But, I lived in Birmingham for several years. When I got out of school, I stayed there for a while. Then I moved around a bit. And then back in 2012, I moved back to the area again. And I stayed there until 2018. And I didn't live in the city, like right in the city either. I lived on the outskirts as well, but I just didn't want to deal with the traffic and everything. So it can be very congested because everybody, it's like with anything. In the morning, it's in spurts because not everybody leaves home at the same time to go to work. But when everybody gets off at 5 o'clock, or if you're getting off at 4 o'clock, then bam, you get with all of that at one time. And most of the people move to south or going towards like Shelby County or whatever. So if you are on 65 going south, you're stuck in that mess. So where I am in Huntsville is about an hour and a half north. So I'm going south now, but it's early. I shouldn't run into any major traffic. But that's where y'all headed to with me today on this field trip. We headed to Birmingham. Go listen to 92 at UAB. It's a pretty day. I'm glad of that. One thing I figured out since I've gotten old, I don't like driving in the rain. And I'm getting to the point I don't like driving at night. Well, I didn't get to the point. I don't like driving at night. It used to be it was nothing for me to jump in the car and go. But now I actually get a little nervous because like I can't always tell. My biggest thing is that my depth perception. Like I can't tell how far away something is. Like if I'm driving and there's a car coming towards me on the road, even if their lights are not on bright, I still have a hard time figuring out just how close are you to me. And like so when it's time for me to pull out into traffic, I'm sitting there because I'm thinking I don't want to pull out in front of them. Then after I sit there for a while, I'm like, shit, I could have been pulled out. They were further back than I thought. So that makes me nervous, that part right there. But I would have driven to Birmingham so many times. Lord have mercy. I believe I could be blindfolded and drive here and back. Hey, Demetra says, hi, Melissa, listening and twisting my hair. Okay. Thank you for listening, Demetra. Yeah, I'm taking y'all on a ride with me to Birmingham from Huntsville. So, yeah, I have drove this road so many times. Because, like I said, I went to school. I went to college in Birmingham at UAB. So, on the weekends, of course, I was back and forth. And even when I lived in Birmingham, because my parents still live down here, I was back and forth. And that's what made me really just go ahead and go on and move to Huntsville, because I'm like, I had been working from home since 2015. And it was really like, why are you even still there? You don't really have any family. I didn't have any, well, I had a family there, but not like people I see all the time. And most of the time, what I did was travel back and forth to Huntsville, to the Huntsville, Decatur area. So I'm like, shoot, why are you wasting gas driving back and forth? Just don't move up that way. So that's what I did. In 2018, I said, we're going to move closer to home, because we don't do nothing but run back and forth to the house anyway. So we've been back up this way since 2018, but I still go back and forth, like, because I'm one of them people. I stick with what I know. Like, as far as like, now 90 Pooh, the lady that does 90 Pooh's hair is in Birmingham, and everybody's like, you still drive all the way there just to get her hair braided? I'm like, it ain't no problem. I got friends in Birmingham. It ain't a long drive, and she do a good job. She been taking care of night hair since she was like 5. So why should I look for somebody else when what I got ain't broke? So I ain't trying to fix it. So, we still go back and forth. Like, my primary care doctor is still in Birmingham. I only see her like once or twice a year. So what's the point of trying to find another doctor? Because doctors, hairdressers, if you're a man, barbers, it's certain people. When you find a good one, you don't want to let them go, because it's hard to find somebody else you can trust. Like, if you've been having the same person do your hair for years and they know exactly what you mean when you say just cut a little bit or just do this to it, you ain't got to go into no deep explanation. That's who you're going to stick with. As far as my doctors go, I've been seeing them so long. I tell everybody, I work in the medical field. It is all a business. Everything they do is them trying to get you to spend money, just like any other business. So a lot of times with doctors' offices, what they will tell you is, if you call them, and let's say you've been going to the same doctor for 10 years, and you've been going every time you go to him at a certain time of the year, it's like, I have really bad sinus and allergies and stuff. So it's a given that with spring coming, much as I love spring, as beautiful as spring is, it does me dirty every year. I done already started. Hey, Miss Nita Boo. Happy Monday. Thank you for tuning in. I done already started prepping, because my sinuses and allergies are terrible. Like, my birthday is in April. Usually around my birthday, my eyes be swollen. I'm snotting and sneezing all over the place, and I hate it. That pollen just does me terrible. So, for this time of the year, even though it looks nice and pretty, it does me off. So, yeah, I said that to say, like, my doctor, she knows that I know when I'm having a sinus infection. A lot of them will try to tell you, well, I can't prescribe you an antibiotic unless you come in. I'm like, come in for you to tell me what I already know? That don't make no sense. But see, if you have a doctor that you got a good relationship with, they know you're not trying to, like, what am I get over and try to get some antibiotics for anyway? It ain't like there's pain medicine. I ain't trying to get no codeine or what's the stuff? Nortel. I'm trying to get some daggone antibiotics. So don't give me that, don't call that stuff in over the phone and quit having me to make an appointment to come and sit in the office for you to tell me what I already know. So since I got that report with my doctor, even though she in Birmingham, I stay with her. Because if I start off new with somebody else, ain't no telling what their rules are gonna be. This and the other. Same thing with a mechanic. Like, luckily, we finally have a mechanic in the family. Mechanics are so valuable because, especially being a female. Hey, Candy, thank you for jumping on. Y'all riding with me to Birmingham this morning. And of course, I'm just kidding and chatting about any and everything. Right now, I'm on sticking with stuff you know. So, like, with a mechanic, especially if you're a female and they feel like you don't know a lot about cars, over the years, I done got done all kinds of ways with them diagnosing what's wrong with my car. and having me spend all kind of money. But it's like if you don't have the knowledge, or if you don't have anybody to go with you that'll tell you like, no, I won't pay that much for that. You can do that yourself, this, that, and the other. So that's the problem that I come across with mechanics. So my brother that's next to me, in age that is, because I got three brothers, he took up, he started fiddling around with cars, and then it got to the point where he really got serious about it. And at first I'm like, you know what you're doing, because your folks better than anybody. And he's the type, he's gifted on certain things, but he ain't never really been one to just go full throttle and stuff. So when he started tinkering with cars, I'm like, okay, is this gonna be another fad or what something he doing? But he has stuck with it. So over the years, like, it would be inconvenient because I'm in Alabama and he was in Atlanta before. So I could call him and tell him what's going on. But unless he was coming here, and for Atlanta, it was like when I was in Birmingham, that was a 2-hour drive away. Now in Huntsville area, it's like a 3 or 4 hour drive away. So it wasn't convenient. It was easy for me to just like, well, okay. But I would call him and tell him what they say. And he'll be on the phone like, they lying. You don't need all that. Tell him no. So with the mechanic, it's and then I've had some shade trees. When we was growing up, we had some good shade tree mechanics. They kept it real with you. They might have, padded it a little bit to get them an extra $20 or $30. But like some of these places, I've been to places like I'll go to this Jiffy Lube, not Jiffy Lube. Who was I dealing with? Pep Boys. I went to one Pep Boys, they told me one thing. Went to another Pep Boys, they told me the complete opposite. The first place was telling me I needed about $4,000 worth of work done on my car. And I'm like, no, we ain't gonna do that. So then I go to, what it was, I went to the local place where I live instead of going back to, like I said, sticking to what I know, because the one I was familiar with was in Birmingham. So I went up to Birmingham and I ain't tell them nothing about what the folks in Decatur said. And they basically ended up telling me what I needed to get done. It wasn't $4,000. It was about $1,000, but it wasn't $4,000. That's a big difference. So, people will get over on you if you let them. And then especially, like I said, if you're a female and they think you don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah, hairdresser, a barber, doctor, and mechanic. If you find a good one, hold on to it for dear life, because they more valuable than gold when it comes down to when you really need them. And that's like even with my, I'm very transparent about mental health, because we have a lot of mental health issues in my family. I have a younger brother that's schizophrenic, and I personally suffer with anxiety and depression. And right when I found out I was pregnant with Naya, she'll be 13, so this been almost 14 years ago. This is when I was living down in South Florida, and I started seeing a psychiatrist there. And I had gotten really comfortable with her. So when I got ready to move, because let me tell you, if any of y'all have dealt with it, not necessarily just psychiatrists, even just counselors, like sometimes you might go see a psychologist. Because, hey Marlene, thanks for joining in. There's a difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist. Psychologists don't prescribe medicine. Psychiatrists do. So you a lot of times you'll see both. I was seeing both. I went and talked to the psychologist to help with they kind of help you get your thoughts, organize your thoughts, and figure out what things you can do differently to get better outcomes. So they're looking at it from that perspective. With the psychiatrist, they're looking at, is there some type of chemical imbalance that needs to be supplemented. And so they will be the ones that will prescribe medicine. So over the years, because I've suffered from depression ever since I was like a teenager, So over the years, I've gone through different doctors and stuff. And as I say on other stuff, not all psychiatrists are created equal. And when you think about it, when you're going to sit down and talk to this person, here's the key: they can't help you unless you tell them what's going on. But if you're not getting that good vibe from them that you feel comfortable talking to them, you ain't gonna tell them what's going on. So y'all really wasting each other's time. Because there have been quite a few that I went to, and I was like, I could tell, like, you know, my discernment be on point. And when I say discernment, I mean kind of like that little God given nudge you get to let you know whether something about this one ain't right, and that goes for everything. That goes for, like, God, people I'm dating, people I want to be friends with, people that approach me at church, whatever. My discernment kick in, and I be like, it's like an automatic beep beep. Back up. But this one ain't for you. And I'm not saying that when I say that they're a bad person, but like I can tell when I'm not gonna vibe well with you. So like on some of the doctors that I've seen or whatever, just from that first conversation, I'm sitting there like, you ain't gonna see me after the day. This ain't gonna work. So the doctor that I started seeing when I was in South Florida, I liked her. She was good. She listened. She didn't try to. You know how you have some doctors that talk to you in that doctor voice, like, "Well, hi, Miss King. What do we got going on today?" Don't talk to me like this. Talk to me like a real person, okay? So, I felt that with her, and I didn't leave Florida until 94 was 2. So I had been seeing her for like 2 years. And when I got ready to move back to Alabama, um, she was asking me how I felt about it and everything. And, I said I was okay, but she was like, are you going to try to find a new doctor down there? I said, I'll be honest with you. 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to find no new doctor when I go back home. I said, because it's hard to start with somebody new. And I got to catch them up with what's been going on with me for the last, let me see, at the time, I might have been like 40. I got to get them caught up with what's been going on with me for the last 40 years. You already know what's going on. Now I'm just keeping you up to date from quarter to quarter. So, I won't, because she said, we could do it over the phone. We could do it as a tele or whatever. And I was like, I would prefer to do that because, it's not easy it's not easy, number one, to talk about yourself. And it's not easy to talk about yourself with a stranger. And then it's definitely not easy when you're feeling like you having to you get doing this person on a trial basis. I ain't with all that. I stick with what I know. So since I've been back here, I was talking to her last week. I actually had an appointment last week, and I talked to her quarterly on the phone. We talk about what's going on. She, sometimes if she feels she needs to make a medication change, she will. But for the most part, it works. Our system works. So I told her, I said, 94 is about to be 13. So you realize that means I have been seeing you for 14 years. Time goes by so fast. And what's crazy is like sometimes I feel like I be the doctor. Like when we call, depending on how she answered the phone, I be like, "Well, how you doing?" And she'll be like, "Oh, I'm good, I'm good." I was like, "That's what your mouth say, but you don't sound like you doing okay." I'm like, "Is everything okay?" So I have to flip the script sometimes and be the therapist myself. Because like you can tell when you conversate with people for a long time, what's going, the things going on. And at that time, I think it was like during the pandemic, and she has a son that she was homeschooling, and there was some stuff, and which she didn't go. Of course, with her being a doctor, she didn't go into no deep detail. But I was like, well, I got ears too. If you just need to vent for a minute, because I'm like, uh, I want you to be where you need to be to listen to me. Then, I had to pull that out on her. Let me go through and see what some of these comments are saying since I done got in a slow traffic area. This traffic, I don't know if they working on the road up here, or it might just be somebody up there in both lanes driving 10 miles per hour. Oh, that makes me mad when we've been dragging along and then we finally get the moving and it's no accident or nothing. I'm like, what the hell was we doing all this time? Okay, let me see. Uh, Marlene says, I love my therapist. She saved my life. Yeah, and when you find a good one, and that's exactly what it feels like. They've saved your life. Um, let's see. Uh, Miss Miss Nita Boo agrees. She said that's true. Uh, Marlene says some people personality is not for me. My therapist is hood. I need someone to get on my level. Okay, with the hood therapist. I ain't mad at it. Okay, let's see. Okay, I missed one up here. Let me see. She says, my therapist tells me, get your ass in gear. All right, then. Hey. And you know, let me throw another one in there that you need that for too. A personal trainer. I done went through my share of them too. And when I get a personal trainer, I need them not to be weak at heart because I'm gonna give you some I'm gonna give you some pushback. I need you to check me and tell me to get my ass in gear because you know with that workout thing, oof, I need it. But at the same time, a lot of times if I can talk my way out of it, and I don't know why, because it ain't hurt nobody but me here. The personal trainer ain't bad out here. But sometimes, you know, I just need somebody to check me when it comes to that workout. And see, my last personal trainer was my brother. And it's the same one that worked on the cars. And you know, I didn't think it was gonna work out because me and him, we've always fought like cats and dogs. See, I knew it. I'm looking up the road. Ain't no accident or no road work. It's two 18 wheelers up there creeping side by side. I'm like, what y'all doing? Having a conversation across the trucks? Get in front of somebody so the rest of us can go. This don't make no sense. Okay, let's see. Uh, my therapist say, you paying me to tickle your ear or get you on track. All right. And Pan said, Lord, I'd be mad at them trying. Yeah, I'd be mad at them trying. And yeah, my brother, he ain't cut me no slack. He like, you know, he know me. He know my personality. He know I'm stubborn. And he like, look, you can do this, right? Or we can be out here all day. And even though it was just a 30-minute session, it felt like we was outside for about 10 hours. And he like, why is you doing all this when you could be done it through? He's like, that's just crazy on your part. I don't do what I'm telling you to do so we can get out of here. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, you have to have that, you know, you have to have that vibe with people. And you know what's funny? When I right before I got ready to get on the road, I went and stopped at a gas station to get a soda. And it was two white people sitting outside, a man and a woman, very nicely dressed. He had on what caught my attention. She had on a suit. He had on a tie. He didn't have on a suit coat, but they were dressed up and they're sitting outside the gas station. And they had a sign in between them that said free Bible classes or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at them like, why y'all sitting outside of a gas station in the middle of the day? I mean, I was curious more than anything. And so I'm walking up and I'm waiting on them to stop me and say something. They ain't say nothing. So I don't know whether I look like I was already saved, sanctified, and full of the Holy Spirit, or if I look like she a lost cause, we ain't gonna worry about her. Because they ain't say nothing to me when I came in the store, and they didn't say nothing to me when I walked out. They just like, you know, whatever you got going on, may God be with you. Because they didn't even strike up a conversation. But you know, I've been told, and I know I sometimes I, people have told me that I can look unapproachable because you know I'm not one walks around with a smile plastered on my face all the time. And I guess, and of course, I'm not no meek and mild looking girl. I'm, thick, solid looking sister, like, get wrong and I get you right. So, um, I don't know. Maybe sometimes that'd be the reason why people don't approach me on stuff, but I have been told I'm unapproachable because I used to tell my brother all the time, me and him would go out since we're closer in age, and I would tell him, nobody never try to approach me when I go to the club and stuff like that. And he like, I'd be like, what's wrong with me? People don't be wanting to approach me. He said, cuz you be sitting over there looking like if they say anything to you, you don't bite their head off. He's so funny. He was like, this is you at the club. He'll wrap his arms up. He like, you better not talk to me. I know you don't think you're going to talk to me. Get away from me. He said, that's what my face and body language be giving. Now, I don't see that. I guess you can't see it if it's you. But he tells me that all the time. He's like, ain't nothing wrong with you, but people think you mean. You don't look approachable. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to say about that. But that's a good thing in a way, because if you are about that bull and I got that exterior, you keep it moving. But at the same time, like, I ain't trying to scare people away. So I don't be trying to run people off, but yeah, I guess I can have that like kind of mean mud expression at times. I don't know. But maybe other people discern me be telling them not to fool with me. Now, over the weekend, I know some of y'all may have seen the video I posted. I was out at a gas station again, stopping to get my favorite. This my favorite thing is a Diet Mountain Dew. So I try not to buy them at home because I need to stay away from the sodas. But if I'm out and I know I got a road trip, I'm gonna stop and get me a Diet Mountain Dew. So I stopped at a gas station, and when I got out of the car, I heard drums beating. It sounded like some quads. And because I am a former high school band drum line girl, I played the snare drum line. Look, I ain't no drum line for real. I can't do all this stuff. They had Nick Cannon doing his drum line. I used to be able to do a few little twirl the stick tricks with the snare drum, but I wasn't blessed with those type skills. But I got out of the car at the gas station and I hear drums going. I'm like, this sounds like Friday night football. So I went in the store. First I said something to one of the guys out there getting gas. I'm like, they got me ready to go and start high stepping out here. I thought I was supposed to start marching. And he was like, yeah, that guy, he's over here a lot. I was like, oh, okay. And so when I went in the store, I asked the lady working the store, I said, what's the deal with the little drummer boy out there? And she was like, yeah, he's been coming. He comes here a lot. One time, I think she said one time they had him on the news. I don't watch the news, so that was my first time seeing him out there. But he was over in the area next to the gas station. He had his quads, the drum with like the four, I think it was four heads. Yeah, it was 4 or 5 heads on it. And he was out there playing by himself. So when I left the store and got ready to drive off, I drove over there by him and struck up a conversation with him. And I asked him if I could record him because I liked what he was doing, because he said he was raising money for college. He wants to go to FAMU. Now, one thing that I noticed was he had a very obvious speech impediment. He stuttered really, really bad. And I don't know, how when he got ready to get on camera, I don't know if that was his normal or if the thought of him being on YouTube intensified his stutter. But he did get the stutter, and I was just like, baby, take your time, But he seemed like a very shy, kind of shy, and I'm thinking, usually when people have speech issues, they've probably gone through some razzing and some teasing at school and stuff. But he didn't let it stop him. He was out there with that drum. He had his little plastic thing that he was for people that were giving donation. And like before I got there, it was quite a few people, black and white, that were going over and talking to him and giving him donations and stuff. And when it comes to things like that, not necessarily what he was doing, but in things where people are getting asking for money, period. Which he wasn't asking. I'm gonna put that out there. He didn't ask for a dime. He was out there playing, and people wanted to give. But you have some people, like the homeless people, or sometimes you don't even know if they're homeless. And with me, I've always had this thing where I don't want to not bless any of God's children, but at the same time, I don't want to be taken advantage of. So I've always had to pray really hard about stuff like that, because it's hard to tell when people are genuinely in need of something or if they gave it. Because I know that's something I had to talk. I've been trying to, and it's so hard to explain to kids, because my daughter, when we first moved to Madison, she was 8. And we were coming out of Target, and there was a lady out there, and she was saying she was trying to get money to do something, and you could tell, like, before you walk out of the store, you seen her out there, you knew she was going to stop everybody that was coming through. And I forgot what her story was, but like I said, that discernment be kicking in, and I'm the type. I think people don't understand, or they don't get me with this either. If I question you about something, a lot of times it's not because I don't believe you. People tend to think when I question them, it's because I don't believe what they're saying. But it's more me trying to get a clarification and an understanding. And it comes off like that. But that's just how I talk, Because, like, let's say the lady was out there and she was saying, I'm trying to get money together because I got to move so and so. And I'm like, well, are you from here? And she said this and the other. And I'm like, well, how long you been down here? And Tim, hey, Dennis, I'm doing a Black woman business promotion panel. Everyone can advertise their business and answer questions if you can. Oh, great. That sounds good. Yeah. 3 o'clock Eastern on Sunday. I should be available for that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I would love to come on, Miss O. See Miss O. So, this is the Miss O's channel, guys. She's having a panel, so you guys might want to check that out on Sunday. I will be there talking about my home-based business. So, yeah, y'all come check out the Miss O. Pandy says, "Hey, Miss O, I'm always in your clouds." Yeah, me too, Pandy. I be in a lot of times. I be in people's clouds and I don't drop down, but I do float around and support people that I find entertaining and everything. So yeah, I have been in Miss O's clouds. I have been in Demetri. I don't even stay at Demetri Lit all day cloud. I come on down and sit in her in her audience, because I love the energy she gives over there. But yeah, as far as discernment goes, you know, when I'm asking people the questions and sometimes people get offended. And I'm just like, no, I'm not questioning you like to say you lied. That's just me in my mind processing everything you're saying. And I'm the type of person that I need details. I need me some details. I ain't gonna just run off for one or two things. Um, I need to know the whole story. So and then now if your story is not adding up, that's a whole different thing. Because if I catch you in some stuff that don't make no sense, I'm gonna tell you that too. Like, well, wait a minute now. You said you just moved down here, but you've been staying at this place for 2 years. How that's But yeah, I have to pray about stuff like that and try to, if the Lord guides me to help somebody. And like with this young man, I didn't feel like he was trying to get over. I felt like he was genuinely out there trying to do something to help his situation. Because he was telling me, he said he plays drums. He has a business where if you, what is it, like breed puppies or whatever, you need somebody to actually take care of them for the first, what did he say, 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. He'll do that. And he also does t-shirts. He was showing me the t-shirt he had on there. He had designed. So I was like, shoot, you a little entrepreneur. You done know you got 3 streams of income right there. But I was like, his dream, he said, is to go to Florida A&M University, which is FAMU. Because I asked him, I didn't ask him this on camera, but I asked him, I said, well, A&M is right here because University of Alabama A&M is in Huntsville. And they have an awesome band, you know. But he said he's always wanted to go to FAMU. And he wants to go to veterinarian school. And he says they have, apparently they have a vet school. So I'm like, as long as you're trying to do something positive, I'm with you. So I shared his, he didn't have a cash app, but his mom had a cash app. And I'm sure she was wondering, where these darn cash apps start coming from all of a sudden. Honey, your son was out there winning people's hearts over with that hard work he was doing, and we was donating. That's where that came from. So I hope he gets, to where he's trying to go. Even if he doesn't get to FAMU, I hope he gets to where he's trying to go in life. Because he was very mannerable, and he came across like he's about business, but he seems like he's a little timid at the same time. But he definitely has skills on them drums. I told him to, play a little bit, let people hear what brought me over here, because you was rocking out, and he's good. He was a good drummer. So I hope he has success with what he's got going on. But yeah, when it comes to people like that, I'm always gifted. Like, I'm the type, if you tell me you need money for food, and we right outside of a restaurant, I say, well, I ain't gonna get no money for, I don't have any money to give you for food, but if you want something to eat, I'll buy you some, because I had to tell a couple of people that was out there, when I worked at UAB, that's right in the center of downtown. And they know that we didn't have very long for a lunch hour. So right there is a strip of restaurants, for the 2 or 3 streets. There's strip of restaurants where you'll have like Wendy's, a Chinese place, a Mexican place. You may have, different little fast food spots where you can walk over from the job, run in, get something, and run out. So a lot of times, people who are, and I'm not going to say everybody out there is running game, but there are homeless people out there who are really homeless, and then there are people out there that you see out there every day working their corner like it's a job. So I had to tell a couple of them, look, don't nobody carry no cash no more. I don't have it, because sometimes they used to get all, persnickety with you when you didn't want to get them money. And I'm like, I give based on how the Lord lead me to give. And if the Lord ain't leading me to give it to you, the Bible said don't give grudgingly. And I believe it. I don't feel like nothing good gonna come with some money I give you that I didn't want to let go of. So I give according to how I'm led to give. And that goes for church and anywhere else. If I'm at your church and I ain't led to give, I don't give. But if I am, I do. It's just like that. But I had a man one time, and it's so uncomfortable when they catch you at the traffic lights. I was in Birmingham. I was getting off on Green Spring, and it has a traffic light that is known for being extremely long. So, like, a lot of times, people who are trying to ask for money will go stand over there because they know you stuck. You can't go nowhere till the light change. So I'm sitting there, and this guy was holding up his sign, and my thing is, well, I'm not gonna sit here and stare at you. So I'm looking straight ahead doing what I need to do. And he holding his sign, so he come over to the car and he tells me, ma'am, I'm hungry for real. Like, it's my fault, And I'm looking at him, I'm like, I ain't did nothing to you, sir. Don't get an attitude with me. And it just was very uncomfortable because the light was still red and it was cars in front of me and behind me. And like I could move. So it's like, it was kind of scary because, like, if he was somebody that was, had some issues and flipped out and wanted to pull out a gun, I would have just been stuck. But, he walked off. But I don't like being put in situations like that. But if I can help you without actually giving you money, I would do that. Because there have been times I've seen people at gas stations talking about, they done ran out of gas, they're trying to get so and so, this and the other. And that's a very possible thing. I've had that happen. I have ran out of gas, you know. So I don't think that everybody who says that is lying and trying to get money. But what I would do is I would go in the gas station and tell the person, put this much on this pump right here. Because I'm not going to place no money in your hand. If you really want gas, you're going to take that, say thank you, and keep it moving. And you ain't going to try to, finesse me out of no actual money. Because that's the thing. People will, you got people who do that professionally. And then go home to a house nicer than yours. So I try, you know, I try to be fair, but at the same time, that's when that bulldog exterior, I guess, comes in handy. Because sometimes just looking at me, people want to approach me with the BS, and I'd be like, "Thank you, appreciate it," you know. But yeah, so it was a beautiful weekend. Got out and did that. Went to a church and spoke. Well, I didn't speak. This was a church that I don't attend anybody's specific church on a regular basis. But one of the guys that does the home-based business with us, he has a church. And whenever he does anything on financial literacy, I try to go and support. So one of the guys, I told y'all, I grew up in the country, honey. Small town. Everybody know everybody, So when he said he was having Dennis Martin, who was somebody that grew up maybe a street over from me, and he's gone on to get his doctorate in finance, and he's done well. But the one thing about when you're from a small town, he's still just Dennis, So he don't put on a lot of airs and everything. And he came and he spoke and he said some really, I like that his message was very he wasn't talking over your head. He when they were reading off his accolades, he's worked with the Department of whatever with the government, and he did this and he sit on all these boards. So when you hear all that stuff, you think somebody's gonna come and talk and say a bunch of stuff you don't know what they're talking about. But he kept it very basic, I still could hear that Cortland in his voice. He ain't coming there trying to be all super proper, enunciating everything. So it was nice. He did a good job, and I think everybody walked away knowing something that they didn't know. Because one of the things he mentioned that I had never really thought about is like he was saying he sits on the board of several credit unions. Oh no, not several, but he has in the past sat on the board. And he was like, "Did you know that for a credit union, if you're a member, you can sit on the board? I mean, that's not anything that's like hard to achieve. You just express interest and you do it." He said, "Now a bank, on the other hand, is different. You're not just gonna go sit on anybody's bank board, but you can sit on the board and be involved with your credit union, your local credit union." And I didn't know that. I think right now I'm a part of a credit union, but I don't really put a lot of money in there. I when we started doing the home-based business, and I learned the difference between as far as like uh, how much interest is going to grow in a savings account with a bank or a credit union versus putting your money in a money market account. And I'm not going to get all technical and start preaching with that, but with a money market account, I would just say your money grows faster than it does in a bank. Where you might have your money in the bank for 2 years and it grows, like you go from having $200 to $207. You can put it in a money market account and it might go from having 200 to 300. It just depends on what you're investing in. So information like that, um, he was sharing, and he talked about compound interest and these credit cards that we get, just basic stuff that people need to know. So it was a good conversation, and I think he was well received by everybody. See what I mean. Okay, Pandy, you said wait, young gentleman. What were you asking? I don't know. I'm talking so fast. What did I say about the young gentleman that you were trying to clarify? Timo says it's a feeling. Sorry, y'all. Wait a little bit. I forgot I am there. Uh, it's a feeling, and it always comes back tenfold every time, if they appreciate it or not. You are so right. Well, that's how I feel about donating. I'm a firm believer in never loan or donate what you can't afford to give away. Because I mean, there's a chance that if you loan it out, you won't get it back. And if you're donating and expecting to get it back, you're not doing it for the right reason anyway. So I always feel like that. I feel like even if I donate or give to someone and their intentions were not pure, because the Lord knows I was coming from a good place, the blessing will be still be reciprocated. And I don't give just to get blessed, but I mean it's a good feeling to know that that's a benefit of giving. But I don't just do stuff because, like, to me, especially if you give and you want everybody to know you gave. Are you doing? Are you giving for the accolades, or are you giving to give? You should be able to give and never even mention it to anybody, in my opinion. Okay. Timo says, "Oh, that's impressive for you." Yeah, he was very impressive. In this, so like I said, I hope he gets to where he's trying to go. Penny said he was playing the heck out of it. Yes, girl, he was playing them drums. And I asked him, do you play with, are you in the band at school? And he was like, no. He just play on his own. So I'm like, shoot, your school need to be out here trying to get you a scholarship. Because he definitely seems like he is scholarship material. Let's see. Mrs. Davis also says, folks have money when you don't know it. People bless you out the blue. And that's true. People will. Just like, and I try to do it too. There have been plenty of times I've been in the drive-thru, and when I pull up, they'll tell me the person in front of you paid for your order. And I'm just like, that was so nice. So I'll try to pay it forward and do it for someone else too. Because, that's what the Lord wants us to do anyway. Him say he was very respectful, just a little socially awkward, but very nice young man. And that's true. I did get that. And I think that socially awkwardness, I'm pretty sure it has a lot to do with that stuttering, you know. Um, but, I was impressed. Let's see. Marlene says, don't give money out if you don't feel led to. Definitely. 110% agree with you on it. Let's see. One man who was homeless chased me and said, didn't you see my sign? I just kept my head straight. I know. I say that's what I don't like. You know, I can understand that you may be frustrated with your situation, but don't take it out on the person, because nobody is we're not required to give. When people give, it's because they want to, and some people just get and I always say I never know what's going on in people's heads or what had happened to them before you ran to them that day. But no, don't be chasing me down and talking crazy to me because I didn't give. No, they gonna bless you like this. Marlene, that's ridiculous. Entitled and holding up a sign. Yeah, that is showing, that is very much staying entitled. Okay, they are very demanding, downright rude. I've, I've seen some bang on people's windows on kids. Oh God, banging on windows and kicking tires. Now I've never had anybody to physically do anything to my car, but like I said, I have been in situations where I felt extremely uncomfortable because they had me in a vulnerable position. I was at a light, cars in front of me and behind me, and really ain't nothing I could do until that darn light changed. You know, and this is what got me when I was living in South Florida. Now I understand why they did it, but at the same time, it was kind of deceptive. Not, I don't want to say deceptive, but I took it people would take it the wrong way. What they did was for their homeless people down there, I guess to keep them from getting hurt, like they gave them, I don't remember whether they were orange or green, but they gave them like vests that you could see, like you would see if somebody was doing road work at night. And I get that they were probably doing that so people wouldn't run over them. But at the same time, you got people like me. Like at the time, I was new to the area, and I'm assuming that they are out there doing something, working on the road, or about to tell me something that has to do with um, construction or something. And then when I get up close and roll the window down, they're out there asking for money. So like I said, I can see, hey, don't tell my damn toe. I can see the good reason for giving them those vests, but at the same time, they could be deceived. And not that they were seeking to deceive anybody, but I'm just saying, maybe y'all should have gave them something else other than what looked like a road work piece. Okay. Can't say sorry, y'all. Okay. Okay. Okay, you Penny, I'm gonna say I'm still on for this evening because now you should be done. I'm headed up to Birmingham because she's singing with the UAB honor choir, and I think it starts at 4:30. They should be done by like 5. So I'll still sign on. I may be doing it from the car like I am now, but that's not a problem. But if it looks like they're still doing the concert, I'll let you know. But I'm pretty sure they'll be done by because you're doing 6. Is it 6? No, it's 6 Central for me, but 7 for you, right? Let me know. Let's see, they just sent out 5%. 5%. Oh, okay. For CDs like the one where you buy it and you let it stay in for so long, and then you if you cash it out early, you get a penalty. I got it. I got it. NFCU. I need to look into that. Okay, she's got a credit union. And Marlene says it used to be illegal to panhandle, but they are back again since the pandemic is over. Yeah, now the area we live in now, up in Madison, um, I'm sure there is some homeless population, but it's not as abundant as I would see it in Birmingham. Because in Birmingham, if you're downtown, you see it a lot. And my heart goes out to anybody that's homeless and everything. But like I said, I try to use my discernment when it comes to giving it. I don't like putting cash in people's hands, especially because you don't know whether they're dealing with a drug addiction or, you know, you just never know what's going on. So, but then, like I said, I pray about it a lot and I go from there. But my no game is real strong. I don't have no problem telling nobody no. That's not something I deal with. My mom has that personality. She don't like to say no. She feels obligated to say yes on stuff. Me personally, can you? Nope. Will you? No. I don't have no problem saying it. Because I'm the type of person, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So I'm not going to say yeah just because I don't want to hurt your feelings and I know I don't want to do it. I mean, what good is that going to do me to do something for you? And you comfortable, but I'm uncomfortable. So, no. Like, I ain't coming from a bad place, but no, I'm not going to participate. You know, even at work, like, they'll email me and be like, do you want to participate in the secret sale? This, that, and I'm like, no explanation, nothing else. Nope. Because I'm like, I don't want to do it. Just what? But anyway, y'all, I done made it to almost an hour. I'm at 59 minutes, and I'm probably I still got about another 20 minutes before I get to Birmingham. But I am going to let y'all go until tomorrow. Pandy, I will catch up with you this evening. Don't forget to let me know what time so I can be in position. And yeah, y'all check us out on Pandy's It's not Candy's Hair Candy and More. I think this evening she's gonna be making money with Penny. Her channel Making Money with Penny. We're gonna be talking about home based businesses and memberships and all that type of stuff. So it'll be some good information. So y'all check us out, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.